Well, everybody, it's that time of the week again. I'm here to tell you something about the podcast. The lighter did not light. And so, thanks to Silicon Valley and the beautiful team of people at Cupertino, California, I'm lit. Anyway, there's some weird medical stuff that might happen in this podcast. If that's not your deal, we're going to have a little thing in there. You'll hear it. Fast forward if you don't like it. But it's quality entertainment, folks. That's what you're here for. On to the show.
Hi, and welcome to Old for My Age with Cassie, who's me, Cassie, where we talk about the lighter side, dive into the deep end, have a few laughs and snacks in between. This week, I'm excited to introduce our guest, Jenna, who is also known as Blake's hot wife. Jenna, say hello.
Hello.
This is your official podcast debut.
Wow.
You made a guest appearance as an NPC for our last episode, but today it's all about you. How do you feel?
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm glad you're here. So we have a lot that I want to cover today. So we'll try to hit it all.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see if you have anything you want to share. Have you watched anything recently? Have you listened to anything? Books, movies, TV shows, any recommendations?
This isn't necessarily a rec because I've only watched 2 episodes of it, but I kept getting an advertisement for Only Murders in the Building.
Love it.
And I kept thinking they were saying Ollie Murs in the building.
Oh,
like
yes.
the singer. And so I was like, that's funny. I wouldn't think they would make like a documentary about him. And then I found out it came up on the Hulu and I was like, that's not what they said. But it's good so far.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been watching?
I watched The Bear, which is on Hulu. You've probably seen it.
The restaurant.
Scrolling. Yes. Which I started it because I was like, hey, I don't have very much to lose. It's 25-minute episodes. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was very anxiety provoking.
How many seasons are there?
1. Just 8 episodes right now.
Oh.
So it's a good binge if you want something not so heavy.
Yeah.
And then there's a show on Hulu called The Reboot. That just came out yesterday, I think.
What's it about?
It's a Hulu original. Wait, it's hard for me to say that without giving anything away, but it's about like a behind the scenes type look at a writer who is rewriting a reboot of a show.
Oh.
Like an early 2000s sitcom.
Oh, okay.
But there are a lot of twists and turns,
Ooh.
and it has a very interesting cast, and yeah, it's been pretty cool so
That's
far.
good.
Only 3 episodes, so
Nice.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
yeah. So you're married to Blake,
Mm-hmm.
who is a recurring character in both my life and on the podcast.
Yeah, he's popular.
Next month will be 2 years married. And how long were you guys together before you got married?
Like 4 years,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. 4 years.
How long did you live together before you got married?
Close to 2, I think. 2 and change.
I think that's something that is really interesting to me. Maybe it might be interesting to our listener, is about, I don't know if you noticed any changes since, oh my gosh, I just can't speak today. What I'm trying to say is you guys lived together before you got married. Now, for you personally, was there a big difference in that transition between just living together as, in a relationship, engaged,
Living in
marriage?
sin to
I know.
being
I
married.
did too, girl.
I felt like there was a big change like after we got engaged, and I think it was because I was like, okay, like not that it wasn't permanent, but I was like, okay, like he's stuck with me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like no, when we went back to our house after our honeymoon, I was like, this is kind of like what we've been doing.
It's just the same.
it felt the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I pretty much was the same.
Yeah.
I really didn't notice too much of a difference, but before we got married, we had already bought the house like a few months before we got married. And I think a few months before we got married too, we had combined our finances, which is a little bit different than I think that how a lot of people do it nowadays. So,
Yeah.
but that's what worked for us at the time. I don't know if it works for us now, but
So when you were buying a house together and you were not married, did you feel like you got like pushback from people?
No, not at
Everybody
all.
was like, you guys just want to buy a house together? Cool.
Yeah, and I don't think we got any pushback at all.
Cool.
Are you talking from the professionals or from our family? Or
Mostly
both?
the professionals, but both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, professionals, they were all on board. I mean, we got really lucky with our house, so
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate for that. And yeah, no,
Cool.
it was also like during COVID, during COVID. So I think it might be a little bit different than how things looked before COVID and how they look now. So I don't know, but
I guess that's pretty conventional though. Like people buy houses.
yeah.
Unmarried couples buy houses all the time.
All the time,
Or
yeah.
people that are not in a romantic relationship. So
I think maybe it might have been a little bit different because we were so young.
Oh.
I was 22 and he must have been 25.
Mm-hmm.
So probably a little bit younger than the typical home buyer that they see on a
Sure.
day-to-day basis. So they probably, I think if I do remember correctly, they kind of talked things down a little bit. Fine with me.
yeah,
Like,
you're like, I did
yeah.
not understand. So thank you.
I'm not going to say it to your face, but thank you.
Yeah.